we're going to follow that up with, your Q&A session, right? Because again, you guys are here to learn, and Jay's definitely here to share. And then, at the very end, Jay has something very special that he wants to offer you guys. If you want to learn, more about branding and taking your brand to the next level, if you have one, and if you don't have one, maybe, getting started. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to introduce the man of the hour, Mr. Jay Carter.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Oh, the baby picture, huh? That's what we're doing. hmm
That's how we're going to do this.
So, so real quick, yeah, just I love New York. So I was born and raised in New York, in the heart of Harlem. Um, and I see we do have some New York folks up on the that dialed in. So I was on 135th and 5th. So yeah, I was in the thick of it. So, but my parents actually put me into a private school in Midtown on the East Side in Manhattan. And when I say private, I mean it was the quintessential Manhattan private school. I mean, super super affluent, primarily Jewish families. So living in the hood and also having friends that were from like that who literally had second and third homes. I mean, it was crazy, um, but at no point did I feel like that my life was missing anything. Like, but what it also did, it opened my eyes to the things that they did have, and things that actually I had as well that they did not have. So and that actually kicked off my first business venture. Because they had everything. These rich, affluent, kids that I went to school with, but the hood, like, I don't know where everyone's from, but in my hood, we had the best candy. We had the best candy. Yeah, every kid loved candy. That was my first business, actually. I was in third grade, no lie. I was in third grade. While all the kids were eating M&Ms and Twizzlers, we had the lemon heads, we had the red hots, we had the pixie sticks, the watermelon blow pops, the now and laters. They never seen no parts of this. So, but that was at an early age. That was kind of, my vision was, there's things that everyone may have access to, or certain people may have
Muted.
access to, but there's a there's things that I have that other folks don't have. So it's at that young age I realized the idea around selling the novelty of selling something that folks didn't even know that they wanted, because they just have it's never been given, or it's never been a part of the world. So yeah, in third grade I actually was selling candy for months. Then I literally hired other kids to actually help me hustle my candy and that news quickly got out to some administrators at the school, and they shut down my whole entire business. It was hilarious. But we was running for a good 3 to 4 months. My parents also caught one of that, and I think that's also when they started really kind of watching me a little bit. And then in high school, as those years passed and other little childhood hustles continued, my father worked for Xerox. He was a regional sales manager with Xerox, and he got a promotion. And one day he came home while I was in middle school. I was like 14. He told me that we got a promotion, and he got a promotion, and we were moving to Stone Mountain, Georgia. So you tell a kid that grew up in Harlem all his life that he's moving to Stone Mountain, that was a blow. That was a huge blow. So we packed up the wagon, moved down to Atlanta. It took me a minute to kind of get acclimated to the South just in general. I mean, it was a different time. The lingo, the clothes, the style. I was in the dark. Found a cool group of cats that we all had different backgrounds, and we just kind of became this random motley crew of guys, man. But we was as thick as thieves, and that was my crew. And And within that crew, you know, I had my birthday was coming up, and I was talking to the guys in my group, and I said, you know what, man, I want to throw a huge party, you know, for my birthday. You know, I mean, I just kind of got down to Atlanta. I'm feeling my way. You know, I'm making new friends, but I want to throw a huge party. And then he's like, all right, well, you know, you let us know what you need, man. We'll help you get the word out. So being that my father worked for Xerox, you know, I just sketched out my idea. I wrote it down on a piece of paper, went up to my father's office at Xerox, and I printed out like 1,000 flyers. I just hit the school passing out flyers. And that party that weekend literally shut down the entire subdivision in my neighborhood. And this was at 15. And that's really when my parents kind of sat me down and said, what's going on here? So that was the second kind of eureka moment that I had. I think the first was, you know, my earlier days, you know, my candy moment, and then my second definitely was, you know, I think the party that I threw when I was 15 years old, when I first moved down to Atlanta, that I did have a knack for not only selling something, but kind of creating this idea, but also packaging it and presenting it and selling it. But again, at those years, you're just having fun, and you're just being, you know, you're just being youthful and wild. So I never really harnessed it. I never really thought too much about it. You know, as a kid, that did have a fire in me for wanting to create and wanting to just make something and create experiences. But didn't really think too much about that. And then upon graduating high school, I went to Florida A&M. Went to Florida A&M in Tallahassee, and those are some of the greatest years of my life. And upon entering college, still at that moment, I knew I wanted to major in business because I did have a knack for business, but I wasn't really clear on what I wanted to do with it. So I just focused in on marketing, and I also made certain that I didn't have, you know, that I didn't have tunnel vision once I was in college. You know, so many times you go to college and you have your little crew or you have your little organization that you may join, and that's all you decide to do. That becomes your safety net, your comfort zone, your circle, your pocket. But in college, it was just so raw, so new. I mean, I was meeting folks from L.A. and Chicago, and D.C. and Miami and London. And I felt that I could learn something from all these people. I was hungry to learn. So joining organizations and just making random friends in a bunch of different pockets, you know, I think was probably one of the smartest things or one of the greatest things that I could have possibly have done during my college years, because it just exposed me to a lot of different things. And of course, when you allow yourself to be open to information and people and ideas, things do come to you. So in saying that, one of my good friends and associates, he came to me with an idea. We were 19, I think we were going into our junior year, and you know, going to an HBCU at that time, everybody saw the movie School Days. You know, some people loved it. Some people said, you know, who's singing in the lunchroom? Like, nobody's doing that. And he was one of these people. He's like, you know what? I want to do a movie about true, raw and gritty black college life. I was like, that's a great idea. I mean, I don't know of anyone that's really, you know, has tried to do it or has done it. I said, look, man, you write the script, and as soon as you write the script, bring it to me. Let's figure it out, and I'll help you market it and produce it. You know, neither one of us knew anything about filmmaking or shooting the film or shooting the movie or directing the movie or, you know, 18 millimeter to 16 or digital to 32. We didn't know anything about film, nothing. It was just an idea. And sometimes not knowing what you don't know could be your strongest, could be a huge benefit to you. So he wrote the script, and he came to me like 2 months later and said, hey, man, I wrote the script. I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. Now what? And at that point, we just kind of sat down, went through the script, and said, all right, well, we got to put some people around this. Who can help us develop this script more? FSU had a film school. We had faculty advisors that liked us a lot, that wanted to look out for us. So we took it to journalism. They helped us kind of clean it up a little bit. And without even knowing what we were doing, we put together a film team, got some bootleg film equipment from FSU. One of our homeboys worked in a news station in Tallahassee as a producer and an editor. So we would go up there at 3 o'clock in the morning to make our edits for this film on at like Channel 11 News Studios in Tallahassee. But it was just all a hustle. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what it was going to become. But we had this energy of just to create and do something different. Again, we didn't know what we didn't know. So long story short, we finished the film. We premiered it at FAM. And then after we premiered it, we actually reached out to a bunch of different movie theaters in Tallahassee and just hustled our way to get the film featured in their theater, in the local theaters. I think we had it featured for like a week, had like 3 showings a day. Every showing sold out. So at that point, we found a way to get the movie showcased in other theaters in Florida. And again, both of us, none of us, it actually was a team of 4. We didn't know anything about filmmaking, but we knew that we wanted to succeed. We wanted this thing to win. So long story short, we hustled the film all the way out to California to the Creative Artists Agency and had them do a screening for us. And once we flew out to California, knowing that we knew no one out there, we literally picked up a book, a directory of producers, studios, directors, actors in Hollywood, and we literally sat in a hotel room, 5 of us, and just started calling everybody to invite them out. And after we had that screening with the CIA, we got approached by a company and said, hey, we want to distribute. We want to do a video distribution of this film through, I'm dating myself, through Blockbusters nationwide. So we were 20 years old at this point, and now had a movie in Blockbusters, and that was an amazing feat. That was an amazing feat. Those guys are still doing film. They're doing fantastic. I'm sure you all are very familiar with some of their work, and I still talk to these guys to this very day. And actually, Rob Hardy and Will Packer are still close friends of mine, and still in the movie industry, doing major things. I talked to Rob last week. He's shooting, what is he doing? How to Get Away with Murder. So he's one of the directors on that television show, and he's actually going to come back to Atlanta for One MusicFest. We're going to figure out how we're going to do some fun stuff for television with One Music as well. So, I mean, these again, it's young folks with a vision, and not knowing what we don't know, actually was probably was a huge benefit to all of us. So so again, I'm just giving you guys a little bit of background about things that I encountered, how I got to this point, my past, the things, well, I guess just the DNA of me and how we actually, and how I got to Soul Fusion. And the reason that I broke away from Rainforest with Rob and Will is they wanted to continue doing movies, but my passion was within music, and I truly wanted to do something in music, and I wanted to use music to create feeling, to create motion, to bring folks together. Didn't know how I was going to do it. I did some music management, but that really wasn't for me. But I wanted to do something in music. I wanted to use my business degree and do something with music. But just like most people, upon graduation, you think that you can conquer the world. You have 1,000 different business plans and different ideas and things that you want to tackle. And then Then all of a sudden the bills start rolling, and you say, you know what, let me slow down a little bit and get this 9 to 5 and figure out these passion projects after hours. So upon graduating, I worked for my father. He opened up his own Xerox agency. And I still had this burning while I was working for the family business while I'm graduating college. And I realized, me trying to work for the family business and still build on my dreams was hurting the family business. Even though I did very well within family business, I just felt like I couldn't put all my attention into my true passion. So at that point, I said, you know what, let me see what's out there that will give me the freedom and the time, the flexibility to actually build upon these passion products and these dreams. So what job could I find out there that where I could literally make great money and work from home? And that's where I ran across this job with LexisNexis as a legal consultant. It was crazy. So awesome job. I mean, they paid for all my expenses, and I worked literally out of my house. So it was that job that actually put me in position to win. So sitting at this job, doing my 9 to 5, I started coming up with these ideas and things that I wanted to create. And again, just like the hustle I had in elementary school selling candy, it was what can I provide to folks that they don't even know that they're missing. And being that I was a music guy, meaning that I just had a passion for music, I wanted to create this concept and this idea around music and entertainment and bringing folks together. And the more I went out in Atlanta, I don't know how many people have partied in Atlanta in the late 90s and in 2000. I mean, I would say the late 90s was crazy, was the heyday. And then the early 2000s, like it just changed. The feeling kind of changed a little bit with regard to nightlife, and everything started feeling the same. I just couldn't find what I was looking for and what I needed. But a lot of other people, were saying the same thing. Like, where are the clubs that don't play everything that's on the radio? Like, where can I go to a club where there is a mixture of all types of people and cultures and backgrounds, and I'm hearing house, and I'm hearing reggae, and I'm hearing Afrobeat, and I'm hearing down south hip hop, and I'm hearing disco. Like, everything was it's starting to get very, very just stagnant. And so the more I went out, the more I started seeing this, and I said, you know what? I don't see anybody looking to build this or looking to create this. A lot of clubs are taking the easy way out. A lot of promoters are taking the easy way out. The great thing is that I had a good paying job, and I wasn't hungry for money, wasn't hungry for attention, but I did just want to create an experience. So that was another, I think, benefit to me, that I wasn't doing it for the wrong reasons. I was, in my eyes and in my heart, I was doing it for the right reasons. So at that point, I said, you know what? Let me put pen to paper and just start developing this idea. So using that FAMU background, that rainforest production hustle, using that channeling that energy when I was 14, 15 years old to create that crazy little party in my subdivision. Like, what can I create? You know what I'm saying? That would feel that emptiness for folks just like me, because I know they're out there. And that's when I developed a concept called Soul Fusion. So Soul Fusion was just it was a party with all different types of people and music. You would go into the club and you would see this white guy with dreads down to his knees on the congos playing next to this house DJ, and then you would go down to another floor and it's like this old school hip hop and southern hip hop set. And you go into another area and it may be your disco and your soulful classics. But I wanted just to create that experience, and I wanted all types of people to enjoy it. So, I mean, the first Soul Fusion party I did, when I tell you 30 people were there, that is zero exaggeration. There was about 30 people in the club. But I will tell you, they danced their ass off, and they stayed to the very end. So that was a good thing. So the club owner looked at me like, dude, I really don't know how much longer we can do this one. But I had to convince him. I had to say, look, man, just give me a couple of more weeks. Let me show you how we can make these numbers just double. And we really just got on the grind. I put a small team together. I grabbed some interns. I started doing some more research, and we really just hit the streets. And I think the main thing about marketing is you really have to understand your demographic and who you're talking to. And I think the tipping point was, I may know my immediate circle, the people that I hang with and socialize with, but if I intend to find people that are looking for the same thing I'm looking for, I got to go where they are. So if I do want that house head in the club, but that house head, the house head doesn't typically only listen to house music, but I still have to go to that house head to interact with that house head, that house music lover, to find out, what are you missing with nightlife? So literally, I was out every night, club to club, from 599 to the yin yang, just talking to folks and just really trying to get a good understanding of what they're missing with nightlife. So I see you over here popping bottles and wilding out in the hood spot over here, but where else would you like to go? And this is no lie, I was in the thick of the hood to the most I guess, as they used to call it, deep-rooted granola househead events. Just talking to everybody. And a lot of folks said the same thing, man. That they're looking for a good mixture of everything. So, what I did that was, at that time, that was your market research. We didn't have social media. We didn't have Twitter. We didn't have MySpace, really. I mean, we couldn't do a digital focus group just to get that type of information. So I really had to hit the streets to find out, where all these people like me, and if I invited them to this event, would they come? So after doing that for several weeks, man, and just getting people to come to see what we had to offer. At that point, once they came, it was like, I'm hooked. This is it. This is what I'm looking for. And I would say probably like 3-4 months after our first event, I mean, it was 500 to 700 people coming every week. But I would accredit that all to trying to get a better understanding of my market, and really also trying to truly understand my brand. Because what happens is, you think you're creating a brand, but what you actually become is a student of your brand. Your brand is going to evolve, and it's going to take form before your eyes. Your brand can possibly turn into something that you didn't even foresee it becoming. And at that point, you have to put on the student hat and say, and this is going to sound silly, but you talk to your brand and you say, well, what are you showing me? Who is my brand attracting, and what do they want? So as the event started growing, I really became a student of my brand, and really was trying to really understand everything happening in these events, in these parties, again, trying to get an understanding for where my patrons were coming from, and things they liked and things that they didn't like. And then within that moment, I would say probably like a year into doing these events, and really trying to understand who was in this event, one of my longtime patrons, I would always see her face, but I never knew what she did. She said, Jay, I want my brand that I work for to be a part of your event. And I said, okay, whatever, let's talk. And she worked for Heineken. So she said, I would like to get Heineken involved with your event. She said, this is awesome. This is what we need. We're trying to touch the multicultural crowd. It's progressive. It's what we need. And so at that point, I was like, okay. I didn't know anything about really, honestly, I didn't really know much about brand marketing and infusing brands into events. So you have to be humble enough and smart enough to ask the right questions. And the best question I could possibly ask her at that moment was, what would make the perfect partnership for Heineken? And then I just shut the hell up and let her do all the talking. So she, she was educating me on what makes sense for Heineken as a brand to get involved with Soul Fusion and Jay Carter. What would make a perfect partner? And then at that point, I was like, well, everything she's saying makes perfect sense. I mean, it's taking everything that I've done with in college and everything that I've done with the party that I've already created, but I'm fine tuning it. I'm molding it some. She's not asking me to change the fabric of my brand. She's not the face of my brand. I'm maintaining all integrity of my brand, but I'm more so just pulling their brand into my brand and being the voice for the brand, and allowing Soul Fusion to be the voice of the brand to our patrons. And that was a huge eureka moment, because at that moment I realized it's the same thing that I was doing when I was a kid. Like as Heineken knows their voice, they know what the brand is, but they don't speak the language that my audience or that the Soul Fusion audience speaks. So they needed us to speak for them. That was the moment, I said. And there's tons of brands out there like that. I mean, you see your endorsement deals left and right, and Diddy selling Ciroc, and this person over here is selling toothpaste, and this person over here endorsing this. Tiger Woods ain't driving a Buick, but they cut him a check, and now he's pushing Buicks. The thing about Heineken, I mean, I was killing 4 or 5 Heineken a night, so I mean, it wasn't easy to merge that brand to what we was already doing. So that dynamic was easy. That conversation to have and that presentation that we presented the brand Heineken to our patrons was relatively easy. But something else that I did is, once I grabbed that client, and the client like Heineken is what you do for that Heineken. What we do for Heineken now becomes our soundboard. So the only thing I needed, I had to do, I couldn't fail. I had to knock this thing out the park for Heineken, because what I do for Heineken is only going to open up doors for other brands. I mean, it's not like I was doing a promotion for JJ Tires on Gresham Road. We're talking about a Fortune 500 company here. So if I can hit their mark and make their numbers, now this is my case study. Now it's, well, Miller Lite, this is what I did for Heineken. Well, Mini, this is what we did for Heineken. Well, Ford, this is what we did for Heineken. So I think it's always, and this is the oldest saying in the book, but it's under promise and over delivered, and that's what was my sole purpose in working with any client, was to always over deliver. So at that point, we kind of switched gears from not only promotions and event production, but we also switched gears into brand marketing. But the great part about it is that the brands that we worked with understood our voice, and they understood who we were to our audience, and they didn't want to change that. And I couldn't have asked for a better situation. But I think that was also done because the team and myself, we just did our due diligence in truly trying to understand our audience. And if you understand your audience, you're not faking the conversation. It's not a forced conversation you're having with your patrons, because you're speaking their language. These are your people. These are your folks. These are your peers. Um, so I think the more you understand your brand, the more you understand who you're speaking with, you know, it opens up the door to so many possibilities that you probably didn't even know were out there. Because Heineken definitely opened up the doors for us with other brands. Um, After doing Soul Fusion for a few years, I also opened up a couple of clubs. It was Soul Fusion, I'm sorry, Sugar Hill, which was a live music venue that we had in the underground for about 4.5 years. We had everybody from John Legend to Jill Scott to Bootsy Collins and Public Enemy. It was, I mean, it definitely was a moment. It was a staple during its time. And I just kind of merged what I was doing with Soul Fusion into live music, and that's when the bug really bit. And I wanted to create not only these events and party experiences, but these music experiences. And I started hitting these festivals and seeing what all was out there, your Bonnaroo and Lollapaloozas and Coachellas and everything in between. And they were awesome. They were awesome. But they didn't really speak to me. It wasn't my voice, you know. And it was, everybody was serving up hip-hop as a novel side dish, you know. It was the garnishment on the plate. It was the parsley on the side of your dinner, you know. But everything else was the indie rock and just your top 40 and your pop. But at all these festivals, you know, I mean, people were having the times of their lives, and it was and that experience was beautiful. I'm looking at all these hundreds of thousands of people around me having this experience, and I'm like, why don't we have this? And when I say we, I'm talking about your multicultural brown people that love, you know, hip hop. And hip hop is not just rap. I mean, when I say hip hop, it is R&B, it's reggae, it's house, it's everything that was birthed out of the hip hop culture. And we just didn't have that. We just didn't have that. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like we as folks that enjoy that space of music need to have this experience. Like we're being denied this experience, and I don't think that's right. I shouldn't have to sit through 35 rock groups to finally see Nas appear on stage. That ain't right. So, and that's when the idea of One MusicFest started coming about. And I said, you know, we need this. We need this. You know, this is real. We need a space where we can celebrate our music. When I say our music, I mean, you know, everything from your classic R&B to your hip hop to your alternative R&B, your alternative pop, your reggae, your southern hip hop, everything. Like, why can't I see Lauryn Hill be in the same space as 8-Ball and MJG? You don't think they know about each other or fans of each other's music? Of course they are, but why can't they be on the same stage? That don't make sense to me. That's not the way I listen to all of that type of music. And I'm sure a lot of folks out there just like me, you know, listen to the same types of music, but we can't celebrate it in a festival setting. So again, it was that third grade experience. Yeah, you may have your Twizzlers, but you ain't got these lemon heads. So it was that same mentality of not trying to recreate something. It was trying to reposition something to where it spoke to my audience and my people. So I think that has a lot to do with branding and marketing and promotion. You know, you just have to create that moment, create that service, create that product that, not that it doesn't already exist, but it may not exist for a certain pocket of people, community of people, or it may not be presented in the same way in which you can present it. You know, you may have a better soapbox to stand on to get this message out. You know, and that's what One MusicFest was. You know, it was like, well, how do we parlay and switch lanes and direct this party crowd, this club crowd, this concert crowd into this festival mindset? because everyone looks at this thing as it's just naturally grown. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of lost money, honestly, because it's also not only presenting something new, but One Music Fest really had to reprogram the way the urban community celebrates and listens to live music. Naturally, we like concert settings. Like, people would spend $100 for a two-hour concert, but you tell somebody $100 for a festival with 20 artists that they love, and it's kind of like, I don't know about that. You don't know about that. You'll pay $100 just to see Lauryn Hill and Tabernacle. You got 20 artists on stage, visual artists, DJs, food trucks, people from around the world. It's an experience. It's a different type of experience. And so we had to also take that into consideration in building the brand. Like, this is different, man. Like, folks that want this music aren't really wired for this. So we kind of had to gradually show them what the festival format was, presented in such a way where it could be received by that core audience, could be received well by that core audience. So again, it was planning, a lot of sitting down. Like, what is our look? What is the delivery? Where do we promote this? Like, who are the people that we're talking to? Where your live music lovers and ticket buyers and your concert ticket buyers? Where are they? Where do they eat? Where do they drink their coffee? Where do they go to the movies? Well, we need to be there. That's what we need to be. We need to talk to them in this space where they're comfortable, and present them this package. I mean, social media is a beautiful thing. It allows you to really create that story, create that vision, that look. So we really carefully kind of sculpted that and molded that out, because it not only was a different experience that we were trying to sell our patrons, but it was a different experience we were trying to sell our sponsors as well, and that's where the funding came from. So it's been a hell of a journey, and I know I said a lot. So, Anthony, did I lose you?
Unmuted.
No. Are you on mute?
Yeah, I'm here, Jay. So we got questions coming in like crazy. So guys, we are going to have a Q&A session here coming up shortly at the end. So please stick around. Jay, I probably have 40 questions here. So,
okay.
But that's good stuff, man. We got great participation. Thank you, guys. We are live Instagramming. So if you have a question and you can't get it in the chat window, go ahead and type it on under the picture that you post on Instagram. All right. So Jay, I tried to catch up with you, and I just skipped down to the first, so you can tell the story about the first year of One Music Fest.
The first year of One Music Fest, we did it
Muted.
an area called King Cloud Art Center. So again, I was raw. Didn't know anything about festivals. I didn't study the weather almanac. We did it in the thick of July, which for anyone that lives in Atlanta knows that July is the most painful month you could possibly have an outdoor event. It's it's hot, scorching hot. Weather's very unpredictable, and I did the event on asphalt. It was crazy. We had 2 stages. We had Common perform, De La Soul, Guapole, Joy, a couple of go-go bands, some rock bands. I mean, it was cool. It was dope. But we lost money our first year, even with sponsors. We had many as a sponsor. We had we had Coors on board as a sponsor. Vibe magazine was a sponsor. But that was a learning experience. That was a serious learning experience, because in building a festival, there's expenses that you didn't even know things that you didn't even know you had to pay. There were things I didn't even know existed that I had to pay for. So they were saying, you got to have an EMS, you got to have an emergency vehicle on site. You have to have, a certain type of barrier around food if it's being served outside, or a certain tenting. You need a certain license for this, a certain permit for that. I mean, it was crazy. So expenses kept kind of spiraling out of control. And then I had two partners that was actually working with me on that first one. And I learned a lot about that one too. So, and when I tell you, the day of the festival is when we actually signed our agreement. And it was something we kind of threw together. Stupid. Dumb. I would definitely say if you're doing any partnerships as far as legal, don't skimp on legal. Take care of your legal. Take care of your paperwork. Make sure you're getting in business with the right folks. You know, the contract we had didn't stand up. We all kind of, well, we all still talk, but it was rough. It was a rough one. There was a lot of things that people promised from both sides and didn't deliver, and you know, so it was a learning experience. I'm giving you guys the raw, the down, and the dirty. So that was a learning experience, and considering the way it kind of panned out, you know, everybody was like, you know, what's next, you know, and then they were kind of skeptical about trying to do it again, and kind of went off, and I said, you know what, this is my idea, my concept that I brought to you guys. I got to keep this thing rolling. You know, I could either look at the money as a loss, or I can look at the money as an investment. And I looked at it as an investment. So I invested into the brand with MusicFest, and scaled back a little bit more year two. Made up for the difference a little bit as far as the loss, but you know, it was all an investment. So yeah, year one was rough. Year one was rough. So I would definitely say this. It's an old saying about priming the pump. You know, like back in the day, you know, you had to go out to the field to get your water, and you had to prime the pump. You know, you had to keep pumping like 1,000 times to finally get that water, because you don't know how deep the well is, or how deep down in the water, how deep down the ground the water is. So you just have to keep priming the pump. You know, and that moment that you stop priming, man, that water may be right there at the spout. So, you know, and that's what I did. I said, you know, I'm gonna keep priming and keep pushing. And that's who we are today.
Unmuted.
And if you're talking, I can't hear you. Hello?
Right. Yeah, Jay. So I'm here, man.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like the slides have finally caught up, but there was a story, a piece that you talked about. You know, when you talked about Live Nation coming on board and when they decided to join.
Yeah. So last year, you know, we how did it? I'm trying to recall actually how it happened. Well, Live Nation is the biggest event producer, you know, in the nation, maybe the world. I don't know. I mean, they have their own Ticketmaster and thousands and thousands of live music venues nationwide. But as when MusicFest grew, I think it was year 3, we did it at Fourth Ward Park at Masquerade Music Park. No, it was year 4. And I think that's when they really kind of saw what was going on and caught wind of it. Went out to lunch with one of the guys at Live Nation, and we just kind of talked. You know, they told us that, you know, it's again, I got to go back to the 3rd grade experience, man. As Live Nation, as big as they are, as much money as they generate, they didn't really clearly understand the progressive, multicultural, urban space. And they tried to do festivals before that spoke to us, but they didn't succeed. And then they saw what we were doing and saying, well, you know, what's going on over here? And that's when the conversation started and saying, you know, maybe let's figure this out. Let's do a co-pro. A co-pro is basically, you know, we still own 100% of the brand, but it's a co-pro. We co-promote this event. We win together, we lose together. And so we did that last year. We figured out a deal. We inked a deal with them to co-promote the event. And the great thing, and this also tells you that, or told me that the brand was strong, is they didn't want Live Nation anywhere on any marketing. They said the brand One Music Fest needs to stand on its own. We do a co-pro agreement, but we don't want people to think this is us doing the event. I mean, it's not them doing the event. We do all the marketing, we do all the design, all the digital, we do all the booking. They do help with traditional marketing. They do help with the whole ticketing format. They do help because they do own Lakewood. That is their space. So they help over there. But as far as the identity of the brand, the DNA of the brand, that is still 100% us and my team that do that or build it out on the day-to-day. But they wanted to get involved. They wanted to get involved in that space. So the benefit of that, again, you got to be humble. You know, I've learned a lot from those guys. And, you know, as bad as people may speak about them, man, I have nothing bad to say about that Live Nation team. And they're learning from us, you know. So it's a give and take. So, and those are the best partnerships, when you guys feel like you're equally giving up something and gaining something. So after last year, we said, you know what, that they saw the vision, they got it, and they said, you know, let's do it again. So at this point, I think we'll be rocking and rolling with them for a minute until something crazy happens, you know. So, but yeah, partnerships. That's definitely a different type of partnership that I had on year one. I would say that.
All right, Jay. Hey, Jay, can you see the slide change?
The what now?
Did you see the slide change? I just went back down to some of the mindset things you were talking about, and you know, some of the things that hold people back.
I think doubt, really. I think doubt is one of the things that holds people back. And you know, I think we just have to do our research, man. You know, and be true to yourself. And this is going to be a very raw statement. So please don't take this the wrong way. Not every idea is a good idea. There are some stupid ideas out there. Let's just be frank. I've had some stupid ideas before, and I've learned from them. You know, so I'm not saying, you know, you do have to learn how to walk away from some things. But I think I've learned from those stupid ideas because I didn't do my due diligence or my research. You know, I thought my idea was so high and mighty that I didn't do those random focus groups that I should have done. And what I mean by random focus groups is if you only talk to people in your circle about your ideas, I'm not going to say you're going to lose, but the people in your circle and in your comfort zone typically give you the pat on the back and are some of your best cheerleaders. You know, you got to talk to people who you don't know. You got to talk to random associates. You know, if hit the bar some nights and just strike up conversation at the bar with random people, get their ideas and input. You know, do some market research on your idea, on your concept, before you just go out there and invest your life savings and hope for the best. So I would say self-doubt definitely gets in the way because you don't know what you don't know. I would say research. Do your due diligence and do your research. You know, crazy people don't know they're insane. You know, they don't. You know, until you maybe show them a picture, a video clip of them acting in a certain way. And it's like, oh wow, I guess I was pretty out of my mind at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with developing these concepts, man. Like, you know, in your mind, you may think you have the greatest concept in the world, but it has to be tested. It has to be proven a little bit. And I would say speak to people outside of your comfort zone. And to the question that was asked earlier about mentorship, you know, seek somebody that has done well in the field that you're looking to get in or the field that you're already in, and seek mentorship. You know, if they don't reply to one email, it's because they're busy. And people that's not busy don't understand what a busy person's life is. Like, you got to hit them up a couple of times and sometimes get an answer. So don't walk away from success. Is a hard job. You know, so it's going to take some pie in the face. You know, it's going to take some rejections. But just because somebody doesn't reply to your email and you're reaching out for mentorship or direction doesn't mean that they don't like you. They don't know you. They don't know you not to like you. You know, keep reaching out. You know, so I would say that. So mentorship, self-doubt, and research. Definitely your research.
And talk about, Jay, if you will, for a minute, how focusing on money. I know you said a little bit earlier that, you know, the first party that you threw, you know, you had to look at the guy who owned the club and say, you know, let me give this another shot. And then you mentioned again, year one of one music festival, you took a loss, but you were willing to not focus on the money that you lost, but more so focus on what you were trying to build.
Yeah, I would say in building up those ideas, you know, you have to be really true to yourself as well and say what can you afford to lose? Because, you know, they say a festival really doesn't start gaining ground until year 5, and I agree. I've seen that. So you do have to be prepared to lose. You know, it's you know, some people hit home runs, you know, as soon as they step up to the plate, but most people do not. In fact, I even think there's a small mini conference, man. It's called like the failure conference, and they have these folks, that these CEOs that come, and these business owners, and all they do is talk about their failures. It's not a woe is me discussions or panels or conference, but it's a group of people learning from their mistakes, and it's letting people know that there's people and successful people just like you that experienced tons of failures to get to that success. So I'm sorry, I don't know if I answered the question that was asked of me.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think,
Okay.
again, you were talking about, you know, you're going to take failures along the way, I think was ultimately the point. But even in those failures, you were able to look at the bigger picture of what you were trying to accomplish.
Right. I mean, and again, you know, if I banked off, you know, just successes and not failures, man, I'd have quit a long time ago. But you do have to believe in your brand, and you do have to speak and move with conviction. And in doing that, you know, it's people are drawn to that conviction, to that enthusiasm, to that energy. You know, because even after a failure, I mean, I still had to reach out to sponsors to raise money for this festival. You know. They don't want to talk to me about my failures. They want to see how they can win. What's in it for me? You know, and that was the conversation I needed to have with them. So if you're scared of failure, if you're scared of rejection, if you're scared to lose, you know, it's going to be hard to get to success. I would say my successes came because I was never scared to lose. I have zero fear of loss. You know, I believe in the vision. I believe in the direction. I believe in the brand and the energy that I'm trying and building and looking to create with One Music Fest. I believe in it. So
Another thing we talked about, Jay, and I won't try to go over every single thing we talked about just for the sake of time, but one of the things that you talked about early in your college career, and even starting out, I think we spoke about this with some of the other events, is how you shouldn't try to wait until you have all the answers.
right, that too. Oh, and now I remember what you were saying about waiting till the time is right. But all the answers, waiting till the time is right. Um, you know, there's somebody near and dear to me in my family who, she it's called analysis paralysis, where you're sitting there just trying to analyze everything, you know what I'm saying, before you move. I mean, there's also an old term that's called we're building as we climb. You know what I'm saying? So as we're growing and as you're figuring out and as you're building this brand, you're also carrying bricks with you so you can get up to the next level and the next level and the next level. I would say do your due diligence around your idea. Make sure there's a market for it. Make sure there's people out there for it. Then you also got to be really true to yourself and say, you know what, is this a business or is this a hobby? You know what I'm saying? What you're trying to create, is it a fun little knick-knack that you're doing on the side? Or is it something that you really think, has legs and can move and can be a true $1 million, 100,000, $1 billion idea? So, and the energy you put into a hobby and the energy you put into something that is going to change your life and other people's lives around you is two different things. So be true to yourself. If you like doing crafts and doing handmade jewelry, but it's a hobby. It's fun. It's your stress reliever. Then it's okay, and let that be that. But if you say, you know what, I'm doing is handmade jewelry, but I think there's some jewelers out there that would love to have my pieces. I would love to have this showcased on X, Y, and Z, or showcase here, or picked up here, or let me find a manufacturer there. Let me get Shark Tank on the call and put my pitch together. I think there's two mindsets. So understand which mindset you are, and if that service, that product, that brand that you're looking to build is truly something that's fun on the side or something that you really want to grow and develop. So it's definitely just be true to your idea, be true to yourself, and don't be scared to hit the go button. I mean, once you think you've done enough research and have asked the right questions and reached out to the right people, and all your design elements are on point, at some point you gotta step on the gas. There are going to be some bumps, but you got to step on the gas, man. And that's when you're going to really figure out what's what. And that's when I said earlier in the dialogue is when you become a student of your brand. Because once you put it out there, and once you see the energy and the people that your brand starts attracting, and the conversations that start happening around your brand, at that point, you, the master of your brand, have just become the student, because now you're back learning. And now you really need to analyze who these people are that are attracted to your brand. And if you got 2,000 people that are attracted to your brand, well, how do I double that? Who are their friends? Who are they talking to? So at that point, you're a master in creating it, but you'll forever be a student of your brand.
All right, Jay. So I'm going to do something a little bit different here, man. We have over 80 questions that
I'm sorry. I'm just not sure they're not these answers then, man. I apologize.
No, it's all good. No, listen, it's definitely not on you. I just think people are so excited about some of the things you're talking about. So I'm going to go away from some of the questions that I asked you when we were preparing this, And ladies and gentlemen on the call, first of all, thank you so much. Keep on taking pictures, keep Instagramming, but you should see a little hand button that says raise your hand. Jay, we're going to take some live questions. I'm going to allow some people to get on the line and ask you their questions yourself. So if you have questions, I'm looking in the chat window, but go ahead and hit the raise your hand button, and I can see that when you do that. And what I will do is I will turn on your microphones. First, I'll call your name out. Then I'll turn on your microphone, and you can ask the question live. All right. All right. So the first question here now, when I turn your mic off, when I turn your microphone on, you're going to have about 3 or 4 seconds to ask your question before I have to move on. All right. So this first question is from Augustus Johnson. I'm sorry, Augustus Jordan the third. Hey, Augustus, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Augustus? Where are you calling in from?
From Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So first of all, thank you for joining the call tonight. What's your question? Go ahead, bro.
Basically, I was just wondering how he was able to get a lot of these partnerships with these Fortune 500 companies, for the most part. Understand Xerox probably through family connections, but some of the others like Miller Lite and LexisNexis and etc.
As far as the brands that we did brand marketing for, again, it was reaching out. So it goes back to what I said earlier. With once we proved ourselves with Heineken, we just had to duplicate what we did for them for other brands. So how I found Heineken, again, it was just kind of being in the right place at the right time, and I hate to say it like that, man, but it truly was, and that's the power of networking. The Heineken rep just so happened to be a patron at our party, at our event, and she brought to me the opportunity, and then from there I just cultivated that relationship, and then from there just found other brands that were looking for the same thing that Heineken was doing. So again, I would say if you are fortunate enough to get the opportunity to work with a brand or to bring on a new client, and that's your first client, bust your ass to do everything possible for that client to make them happy, because their testimonial is going to pull in about 3 to 4 to 5 more clients for you. I promise you that. So, and if you can make them look good, make them money, accomplish all the things that they're looking for, it makes your job that much easier when you knock on the door of could be a competing brand or another or a non-competing brand. But always highlight your successes. Always go beyond the call of duty for your clients.
All right. All right. Thanks so much, Augustus, for that. I'm going to take probably 2 more, Jay, and then we're going to move on to the next slide and the next part of the presentation. This
Okay.
question, let's see. This is from, looks like Doug Austin, but it looks like your microphone is muted on your side, Doug. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next person. I only see initials for this. Okay, Michelle Miller, M-E-C-H-E-L, Michelle Miller. Hey, what's going on? You're live with Jay. Where are you calling in from? All right, so we're gonna go on to the next. Tone Fox, are you there? I see your hand up.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey, what's going on, Tone? Where you calling in from, brother?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Jay, can you hear me?
I'm in DC at this time touring. I said I'm in DC right now touring with my artist, and I just have a simple question. In regards to showcasing, Jay, do you offer new up and coming artists an opportunity to showcase their talents at your events?
We have an event, or better yet, we have a contest called Searching for the One at One MusicFest, and with Searching for the One, we allow indie artists to submit their music. and then literally the fans vote on who they want to see perform at one music fest. So we allow 1 to 2 indie artists perform at one music fest every year, and it's a fan-driven contest. Well, partially. The fans can vote, but we also have a small panel of industry judges that also vote. And we do that every year. So we give an indie artist about 10 to 15 minutes on stage to really feel like, to get that feeling of what it's like to perform in front of thousands of people. So it's we've been doing it for like the last 4 years, and it's been working great.
All right. Abe, thank you for that question. And this is the last question that I'm going to take, and we'll keep it moving, Jay, because I know we're pushing it an hour and 10 minutes, including 15 minutes, including the timeout. Let's see. Is this being recorded? Yes, this is being recorded. What's the biggest challenge you've learned from? I think you've already spoke to that one. That was Leslie. Having a vision is a powerful thing. All right, bro. So this is what we're going to do, Jay. We're going to move on to the next part of the presentation. So I'm going to progress in the slides.
Okay.
All right. So in this, we're going to talk about some tips to success that you gave. So you should see the slide changing in just a minute. Let me know if you see it, Jay.
Oh, no, I see it, yeah. It could be 3 feet from gold.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, I think that definitely goes back to the statement I said before about priming the pump. There were many, not many, but there were a few times where, you know, I said, I just don't know if we're going to do one music fest again. And then just speaking to really two close people in my life, you know, they kind of they shaked out the cobwebs, because it is tough. Festivals and production it's a tough business. But you never know. You never know who's out there looking at you. That person that's been thinking about reaching out to you, but they maybe never got around to it. Like a Live Nation, like a Miller Coors, like a Coca-Cola or whomever. And you just don't know how close you are to success. So, you know, if you've done your due diligence, if you invested, if you do see growth in your brand, and it's not you know, it's not falling back, but it is actually growing, then you really need to analyze that and say, you know, do I have something here, and is it worth fighting for? So I would definitely say hard work and integrity does pay off. It does pay off. You know, treat your clients right, your patrons right, your people right, and always do what you say you're gonna do. Atlanta it's a big town. Everybody, you know, it's not a big city. It's a big town, but a lot of folks know. It's not a whole lot of new people once you get in certain pockets and circles. Like, you know, either you heard somebody's name or you know their work, or so you know it does you well when you treat people right and handle business correctly. But I think that goes without saying for anything in any city. Yeah, and you can be limitless if you want. You don't know what you don't know. I think the moment, you know, I mean, the brother that was asking about the showcase, and he's doing artists and he's on a road, like, you know, he obviously saw something in some of these artists that he may manage or that he's pushing, you know. And you got to figure out how to get these folks in the right situations, in the right spaces, in front of the right people. You know, you're Justin Bieber. I mean, not that he's a poster child or anything, but yeah, he was a YouTube sensation. You know, they Scooter Brown and LeBron and Usher found that kid on YouTube, singing on YouTube. You know, so and again, a funny, and we're going to actually talk about, I think that the follow-up discussion to this, and one of the people that I would like to pull into the webinar is a woman named Shanti Das, who I actually met in college when we were shooting that Chocolate City movie that we did, that I did when I was in college. She, at that time, she worked for LaFace, and me and Rob Hardy, we came to Atlanta, scheduled several meetings with certain executives at LaFace, and he's like, look, we want to reshoot Chocolate City, and we're looking for some artists that you guys have at LaFace. Like, that was the year that Outkast was coming out. Now we was like, we got to get Outkast. And they're like, we don't know if Outkast is going to work. And then Shanti was doing A&R and development, artist development. She was like, but what about, we got this 13-year-old kid named Usher. What do you think about putting Usher in the movie? Like, this movie's about black college. Like, what are we going to do with a 13-year-old in a black college movie? But, we didn't know what we didn't know. Now look at Usher. Usher, he's a pop sensation, and he's the guy that founded Justin Bieber. But all these folks are just another, it's what is the term I'm looking for? They're just more proof. It's just more proof that, right place, the right time, and things can happen. So, I would just definitely keep pushing forward and do right by your folks. You have to figure out your motivation. That is true. What is your motivation? And one of the benefits that I had earlier is my motivation was not money. Money will muddy up your vision. If your sole motivation is money, if your mind is only and solely focused on money does turn your motivation into greed. So to create this event, when I created Soul Fusion, it wasn't, VIP, and let me tax 20 and 30 or 40 and $50 to cut mine. It wasn't money. It was the brand. It was the experience. It was the energy. And I wanted to fill a void for people like me, for just urban music lovers, progressive music lovers. So my motivation was not money. My motivation was building a brand and filling a void for people like me. And what I knew was if my mind and my concentration was creating that experience, that infectious experience for people that with my like mind, success or and if money is your idea of success, then so be it. But money and success would come regardless. It's inevitable that it would come if you do your due diligence, take care of your people, and feed the brand with I mean, it sounds very cliche, but yeah, with good energy and with purpose. So I think what people saw, they didn't see so much always a party, but it was like a purpose. There was a reason for this party. You know what I'm saying? Like it did fill a void. It did create this energy. And I remember, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but at least 2 times a year, we would get an email from somebody telling me that they met their spouse at Soul Fusion. We had people that actually got engaged at one MusicFest on stage. Like, these people felt this attached to this brand or to this event to bring that a moment like that in their life and to attach it to an event or to a party or to a concert or to something like that. Like that's something. Like people believe in the brand. So I mean, it only proved right. I didn't put money in front of the vision.
All right, Jay. So now we're going to get into the what you put all this together for. And I know we talked about when you were talking about doing this, you wanted to do something for people who wanted to grow their brand. So I'll let you kind of take it and put it in your words on why you wanted to do this course and what's your mindset behind helping people out.
I mean, it's to give back. I mean, it's definitely to give back. Because I got here for I got put in this position, or I got to this point, or I got to this place for a reason. And I can't lie to you and say that I planned to get here this way. It's something that kind of emerged. It kind of happened, and you just keep living your life, and it's just one. You just think, it's Wednesday. It's just another day. But then you turn around and look around, and people are saying, "Nah, man, you really did something here. You have a story to share and a story to tell." It's when you sit back and realize that you do have, a wealth of knowledge to share that could actually help somebody and direct them. And it was when I started receiving a lot of random emails, and I had the same phone number for 15 years, so I'd even get random calls and texts from folks asking for assistance. And AJ, when you reached out, it just made perfect sense. How can we help others? How can we give them some direction? Because a lot of what I've learned was self-taught, and so my setbacks, can actually help a lot of folks kind of steer clear of those setbacks, and and it is empowering us. It is empowering our community. It is each one teach one. So, and I truly believe in that.
All right, so let's talk about some of the things that you're going to be talking about, and some of the people that you have coming onto your training. So, module number 1, I'll let you just kind of break it down in your words again.
So some of the people that I'm introducing or inviting to the webinar will definitely help with regards to pinpointing your mission, and helping you with deciding how you want your brand to be seen, thinking like your customers. So Steve Canal, who's a close friend of mine, he is, he works for Miller Coors. We were actually close friends before he started working for Miller Coors, but he's always been a brand guy. He had his own brand agency, and he can give insight from the corporate side and also from the entrepreneur side. Highly motivated guy. Tons of success stories. He created the I don't know if everybody's been to when Coors Light does their, oh my gosh, I just forgot
Tap the Future.
Tap the Future. That was his concept he came up with for Miller Coors with Damian John. We're going all around the country and people pitching ideas, and folks walking away with $25,000 checks to help build their brand. That was his idea. That was his concept. Like, he also is I mean, that's why he and I are kindred spirits. Like, he wants to take his successes and help others. So Steve would be a part of the webinar. Also see that we have Myleik Teal, who I definitely want to bring in. I'm sure for all my natural hair lovers out there, y'all heard of Curl Box. Myleik met really at random years ago when she was doing PR, and she approached me because she knew who I was, and I was still so green. I was just like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh, you need PR around you. Like, people need to know your face, and people know your name, but they don't know who you are." And that's how she talks. She's very abrupt, in your face. And I was like, "Well, who is this woman attacking me?" And that's how we formed our friendship. And she came in with her idea. She said, she had the idea about Curl Box. And I said, you know what, Myleik, everything that you do for other people as far as PR and creating the brand and pushing the brand and getting the brand, injected into media and just content. If you just switch the page or turn the page and just put that into something that you create, that's the win. You already know how to get it out there, so what do you believe in? And she's like, yo, natural hair care. I was like, well, shit. Well, put it together. Let's talk about it. And she put it together. She came up with a couple of different logos and ideas, and the rest is history. I think she has, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of followers now, and she's probably one of the authorities on natural hair care. Kembo Tom, good friend of mine too, awesome individual. He was one of the founders of GTM, which is a guerrilla marketing agency. They created the program and show Master the Mix. You might have seen it on Centrix. Again, he is a quintessential pitch guy, idea guy. He is a visionary through and through. But he is that guy that knows how to take a vision and put the body and skin around it. But also, not only that, he's also a guy that you put him in any room with anybody, he's coming out with some type of deal. Because he's passionate about his ideas. And he knows how to sell his ideas. So definitely think he's a world of information and knowledge. And I want to bring him into my webinar as well. And then finally, I spoke briefly about her before, Shanti Das, who's, she's just beautiful spirit, been in the industry forever. She knows the music industry inside and out, from A&R, from even artist development. She worked directly underneath L.A. Reid. Was one of the head people over at LaFace, helped put together TLC, Outkast. She's written, well, and I know she has one book now, but she also has about 2 to 3 other smaller books. But she's just a wealth of knowledge, as far as industry knowledge and music industry and just business and motivation as well. So I want to definitely pull Shanti into the webinar as well. So I think we all have the same kind of mentality that every day, people wake up and brush their teeth, put on the shoes, leave the house. We're no different from anybody else, so our ideas and our vision, what made our ideas and visions successful, and I think some of that we hold, we can present to you all and help clear some things up and help you guys along the way and help you guys with some of your biggest successes, because I'm sure many of you all have successes already.
Right. So, all right, Jay. So, I'm just gonna read through the modules, and we're gonna talk about exactly, what's gonna be taught in each module, and we're gonna take some questions here in a minute because I see a lot more questions coming through. So, in module one, Jay and his group of professionals or experts, they're gonna talk about pinpointing your mission, deciding what you want your brand to be seen. How you want your brand to be seen, and thinking like your customer. And again, this is a 4-week course. It's an hour to about an hour and a half. It's probably about as long tonight as it will be every week. Again, this will be a deep dive session, so this will be very specific. So it's not, Jay telling stories about what he's been through, but it's actually you asking questions and getting very specific answers and very specific directions on how you can help your business. All right, so module 2, we talk about refining your brand language, right? So, what is it that you want people to say and to think about your brand? 3, design essentials. And I think on that one, it's more about the brand identity, the logo, the fonts, colors, things like that. The 4th, or the other part, is communicating your brand to your team. Jay said very early on that he was able to bring on interns, when he wanted to go from, okay, it's a Jay Carter thing to now it's a team thing. So when you were talking to the promoter and he's like, look, we can't do that again. You were like, all right, well, let me do some research and put together a team. So you're going to talk about team building. Module 3, backing your message up with your product or service, right? So again, all of us, or all of you, or those who are interested in building your brand, you want to talk about not only what that message is, but then what did Jay say a second ago, doing what you say you're going to do, and then backing it up. So if you say, you're going to have this great party, but then the party turns out lackluster, then it's time to go back to the drawing board and figure something out. Understanding your market. This is all module 3. Competitive analysis and talking to your customers. And Jay, do you have anything to add on any of those before we move on to the next slide?
No. I think a lot of that we can cover the next go round.
All right. And module 4, developing a marketing strategy, social media and building a solid presence, web design and community involvement. So those are the 4 modules. And again, these are the guests. We have Malik, Kimbo, Steve Canal, and Shanti Das. And so when we talked about doing this, we were talking about what would the price be? What is it that can make people join the course and be affordable so that they can come on for 4 weeks and get a chance to talk to you guys, get a chance to pick your brains and come with very specific questions and not only feel inspired when they got off the call, but actually move the needle, right? So Jay said, well, let's just do it for $39. So that's what we did. You have the 4-week course. So if you want to take part of it, and again, we will be doing another presentation, just getting the word out on the course. And if you have questions, go ahead and ask your questions now. You can go to buy.makingthebrand.com and you can go ahead and get the course now for $39. And this will be a live course, so it's not that you're going to go. Give me just a second here. Yeah, it's not that you're going to go and download this course. What you're going to do is you're paying $39 for an enrollment. Then you will receive confirmation for that enrollment, and you will have Jay along with his instructors coming to take your questions live in the same format that we have tonight. So I see a couple hands in the air. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to put all hands down just to make sure that some of those hands aren't up from a while back. So go ahead and raise your hand if you have questions now. I have cleared all the calls. So Jay, how long is that price? Did we say we're going to just do that to midnight tonight?
Sure. Midnight tonight. That's cool. We can do it.
Midnight.
Good boss, man.
That was one of the first questions, is how long is that price? So again, we are going to do this again, but the price will definitely not be the $39 that you can grab it for tonight. And again, it's just about investing. I think what Jay was saying earlier, when he took the L at One MusicFest, it wasn't really an L, it was an investment, right? So it's more so about the way you position things. So go ahead and invest. Let's see, we have someone saying they want a 1-day extension. And let's see, what days and times of the course. So here's the way we're doing this. All right, so Jay has the One MusicFest coming up in 2 weeks. After the One MusicFest, there's some bow tying that he has to do, just to tie the strings up, and then we're going to choose the best nights, and it'll definitely be either a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday night. But what we're asking you to do is, this is his inaugural course, right? So for $39 right now, you can go ahead and get the course, and you will be notified as soon as it's ready. But we're looking at least at the end of September, the beginning of October, because again, we're in the last week of August now. So this would definitely be, again, we haven't decided the exact date. You will be, well, thank you. Well, first of all, welcome aboard. We have a few people who have already bought this. If you cannot tune in tonight, will it be archived? Absolutely. Each class will be recorded. There will be all the Q&A sessions will be recorded. So if you have a question, and you can't make the class, you can send an email to either myself, I'll be moderating it, and I'll make sure that your questions are asked if you're not able to make that course. So thank you, welcome. We have a couple other people buying. Okay, well, welcome aboard, guys. Again, we're looking at, Jay, is October sound about right as far as your schedule is concerned?
October's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
We can do that.
All right, Brian, thank you, Brian. Jay. Brian is saying thank you so much for everything that you've done tonight. Yes, and we have someone
Ah,
saying that they bought, but they may not be able to attend one or two of the nights. Yes, it will be recorded. Let's see. Someone else is saying that they learned. Okay, so here's a question, guys. What is one thing that you learned tonight that you can even just after this first uh, training that Jay has done? What is one thing that you've learned that you can apply in your business right now? And again, it's been so much information. Again, we're almost at 2 hours now, but it's been so much good information. Yeah. So Dorian says he's definitely learned to do the research, do more research. Any other lessons learned tonight? Let's see. This is Monica. Become a student of your market.
Hmm.
Perseverance in the face of what looks like failure. Understanding the language of your audience. Not waiting for perfection. Good stuff. My favorite takeaway tonight was under promise and over deliver. Absolutely, guys. And again, this 4 week course coming up, it is you can go to buy makingthebrand.com, break making the brand ATL, I'm sorry.com. So the cost is 39 tonight, then it'll be 99 thereafter. Well, I don't know if the price is going to go all the way up to 99 right away, but it definitely won't be $39 again after tonight. That question is from Sean. So Sean, it's $39 right now. But come October, the price will be more expensive. So if you want it for the $39 price, go ahead and jump on it now. And just so you guys know, I've been producing these webinars, and what Jay is doing, he's giving a lot for $39. Think about it. If you have the ability to move the needle in your business, and that's cheaper. I know if I take my wife out and we both go to the movies, that's a quick $40 right there if we eat popcorn, right? Or if we go to the club, by the time you park and go in the club, that's $40 right there. So think about this. You're getting an hour and a half every night for 4 weeks. So think about it. That's 6 hours with five experts where you get all your questions asked. And think about it like this, guys. Most of the time when you see things like this, and Jay, you can attest to this, and I've been on panels as well, and I know some of the people on, you put together conferences and you have, 6 or 7 people on a hotel, conference room panel, and they're up there and you get to ask your questions, but it's not as intimate, right? But even when you go to those, you're spending 79, 89, 99, $100, and you don't get that one-on-one kind of massaging of your questions that you will in this format. And furthermore, when you leave the conference, you're not leaving with anything. So this course will be recorded and you'll have access to the course. So let's see. Sean is saying they need an extension. Uh, how much by tomorrow? So I guess I don't know. We hadn't really talked about what it was going to go up to after this. We were just kind of excited about putting this together. So I'll tell you what, Sean, shoot me an email to get@anthonyjoyner.com, and that's joiner.com. And I'll talk to Jay after we get offline here, and we'll talk about what the price will be for tomorrow. All right, so let's see. Tap out early. And he said he's your Facebook friend too, Jay, so he may hit you up directly.
Okay,
All
that works.
right, so let's see. Zakai said they learned to tap out early, and keep priming the pump. Keep priming the pump.
prime of the pump.
Monica McNeil says that she's really inspired because you have zero fear of failure. And I think you talked about that. When you don't have any fear of failure, you really become limitless. And I tell you what, instead of me talking, let's just go ahead and ask Jay a few more questions. Ashley says she's so thankful her mentor signed her up for this and put her in a position to gain so much knowledge. This has been
That's
amazing.
awesome.
So Ashley, if I tell you what, we have someone else with their hands up. This is Michelle again. Now, Michelle, we we tried to put you on last time, and your mic was muted. So if you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. We're going to take another live question or two here while we give you guys about another 3 more minutes. Here's a question. This is from Leslie Green. Oh, what's up, Leslie?
Hey AJ, what's up, Jay Carter?
What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
It's been a long time. I am so proud of you. This is phenomenal. I've been seeing both of you guys, in your grind and your hustle for years. But I must say, when you said about don't be afraid of your fear, that hit me. That was phenomenal. Um, Is there anything else? I'm trying to buy my ticket right now to get into the webinar. Is there anything else outside of that you think we should know as it relates to allowing your fear to cripple you from doing what you should do?
I think, I mean, it's the fear of jumping. Everybody has a fear to leap and to jump. But again, it's if you can inherit the mindset of you don't know what you don't know. So if I never step outside my front door, I have no idea what type of world it is out there. So if I sit in my house and I'm trying to, I'm designing this beautiful outfit, but I'm walking around the house in it, I have no idea how it's going to be received or how much light it's going to bring somebody or how it may encourage that next designer or individual or whomever. But you got to fly. You definitely got to be. You can't be scared to fly. So and if you can also inherit the mindset of not being scared to lose, everybody's lost. I mean, it just makes you that much stronger, and there's so much you can learn from your setbacks that just makes you sharpen your pencil that much more. So I mean, if it wasn't for my failures, I mean, I no one bats 1,000. So don't be scared to try it out, and don't be scared to talk to perfect strangers about your ideas. I'm not saying run around and show everyone your blueprint, but don't be scared to show your ideas. Again, I don't know the cultural background or race of everybody on this phone, but I know on this call, but I know everybody. I know a lot of people in the urban community they hold their ideas so close to their chest, and it's so fearful of just showing their ideas or just having conversations with people that look just like you. You got to let that go. You have to let that go. I mean, if you're talking to somebody that's an accountant and you're looking to design dresses and shoes, I mean, you really think that person's going to give up their entire career to grab your idea and try to create it? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
You can't be scared to talk to people and get that type of feedback from people inside your industry and outside of your industry.
Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it, Leslie. All right, we got another question. Well, first of all, I want to welcome Stacy, Idris, Brian, Dorian. We have a few more people. Created Live. Now, guys, be sure your email address that's affiliated with your PayPal account, that is where your confirmation is going to come to. So that is where, when we launch, that's where we're going to send the invitation. So if it's different than your primary email, just be sure to pay attention to the email that's affiliated with your PayPal account. Welcome aboard, David. So let's see. We have another question. This is from Michelle Miller. Let's see here. Oh, it looks like we lost her again. Yeah, we did. All right. Okay, guys. So any more questions? I'm gonna go about another 2 more minutes now. We're almost at 2 hours now, so we're gonna call it an evening. And we may put up a replay. We're not sure just yet. So if you have a question, go ahead and ask now. And if not, be sure and go over to buy.makingthebrandatl.com and go ahead and join us and the people who have already signed up for tonight. We're really excited about this. And let me type it in here. Someone just said they can't access it. Roderick said, either you win or you learn, but you never lose. That's what's up.
Amen. Amen.
Let's see, making. All right, so I'm just typing it in here for the person who said that they can't access it. You should be able to click on that link. All right, Jay. So here's what we'll do, man. Do you have any closing words? We'll get ready to close this thing on out.
Well, one, I really, this is I mean, it's a little overwhelming. I really appreciate all the support. I'm glad that you guys all chimed in and lended ear, and we're just open, you know. And I think that speaks volume to who you all are and your journey um, to through and to success. So again, I just thank everybody being a part of the webinar. I hope you guys can join us next go round. And again, you know, just don't be scared to lead. Don't be scared to lead. And I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you. And hopefully we can have a drink and I can shake your hand and I see you at One Music Fest.
That's what it is. Let's see. This is Kirk. He's saying this is really positive what you guys are doing. Hey, I am only moderating this. This is definitely, Jay sharing all his knowledge that he's had through his huge successes and some lessons that he learned along the way. Tiffany is saying this is great. Just another way to be around like-minded people. Blessings. Annika is saying it was great. Thanks a million. I hope I got your name right, Annika. Um, and so with that said, Jay, I think we're gonna call it a night, man.
Awesome, man. Well, AJ, I thank you as well, man. I really thank you for just bringing this opportunity to me. I really appreciate it, and staying on me, man, because I know I've been a little elusive. It's been crazy over here. So, but this felt right. This felt good, and I hope somebody walked away with something. So I appreciate all of you and AJ as well.
All right, we got one last person. Well, this is Dorian saying, are you gonna do a One Music Fest ticket giveaway?
We did say we were going to do that. We said we were going to do that for.
You sure did.
Was it what? For how are we going to do it? Was it the best question? Was it for?
I tell you what. Do you want to? How are we gonna choose? Three cheers, Jay. How are we gonna choose who the most tweets? I tell you what, Jay. If the person who can name the most artists that were on year one of the One Music Fest?
Oh wow.
Is that too many? Is that too hard, or is that name the five of the first person to take a picture of the screen? Hold on, give me a second. Here's what I want you to do. Take a picture of the screen in just a second. I'll tell you when. All right, so I switched it to the primary slide. First person to take this picture of the screen and list four people that were on year one of the One Music Festival. You have to tag me and Jay Carter on it, AJ Joyner and Jay Carterology, with the hashtag making the brand. So it's not going to be easy. You got to remember a lot of stuff. All right, so we need, what do we say? 5 artists from year one.
No, you said 4.
4. Okay, 4 artists from year one. Tag myself, Jay, and use the hashtag making a brand ATL. Jay and I will do a quick search of making the brand. That hashtag, and the first one that we see, we will give you those tickets.
How about that?
So give me a second. Give me a second, Jay. Let me get over to Instagram. All right. So let me jump behind the hashtag. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. Making the brand. All right. Okay. So we got who is this? Freeze Nuts. Let's see. Okay. Well, you have to list. You have to. Okay. So you tag Jay and I. But you have to list 4 artists that were on year one of the One Music Fest. And Jay, if you can pull out your phone and just do a search for the hashtag making the brand, the first one that you see, we can do it that way as well.
Okay. I think folks are googling. They're
Okay,
trying to figure out who.
You got to give them a minute, right? So was that too much, man, or is that just enough to keep them, make them do a little work, right?
It's gonna be a little work.
There you go. You gave a good 2 hours of great content, so we're gonna make y'all do a little work. Oh, Leslie says she picked the name of the mascot. That's what's up. Let's see. First, Leo. whoever used the hashtags. Let's see. Pick me. Venture Sniff says just pick me. That would be amazing. Ashley Nash. All right, so we're still watching. Let's see here. Uh, making the brand most recent. All right, so we got two more that came in. Let's see if they have everything. Uh, let's see. Week before. Okay, nah, we got that's somebody else that just bought it. Oh, listen, thanks guys. Everybody that's buying the course, we definitely appreciate it, and we look forward to, getting you guys as much information. Someone says the contest is too hard.
The
Uh,
well, I named the artist earlier in the conversation.
you,
I talked about
you named a couple.
the
You named a couple.
but well, the good thing is if they put it on Instagram, we can find them. We can still give away the tickets.
There you go. There you go.
So we'll make it easier. Just give us 3, not 4, just 3.
Give us 3 artists, and I tell you what, we're gonna get off the call, but go ahead. We're still gonna monitor Instagram, and the first person that comes up with the 3 artists, tag myself and Jay in the hashtag. You got a pair of One Music Fest tickets. How about that? So you joined a free.
Somebody just got it.
Somebody just got it. Who was that, Jay?
The Trouble Red.
Trouble Red. Let's see. Yep, there you go. That's there. We'll go with it. Well, we did tell you had to take a picture of the screen, but you want to just go with it, Jay?
We can go with it.
All right, let's go with it. So Trouble Red. What is
Is it Trouble Red?
Trouble Red. Yeah. Kelly, booking for DJ Fudge. Great Escape Travels. So send an email. Someone said, can we have a different contest next time? We'll figure something out. Trouble Red, send an email to get@anthonyjoyner.com with the subject line tickets, and I'll forward that over to Jay. And Jay, if you don't have anything else, brother, well, I want your voice to be the last one to hear. So go ahead and close out. This is one last time. Contests are done, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks everybody for joining. And we'll be talking to you in a minute. But go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, no, again, I just want to thank everybody. Thank everybody. Believe in yourself, believe in your vision, believe in your brand, believe in your ideas, believe in your community, believe in each other and the circle around you. And just don't stop trying. Don't stop trying. There's nothing greater than building something from an idea and just seeing it take shape and growing and developing. So I wish for everybody to have that moment to experience that feeling. So, but you got to leap in order to make that happen. So I'll see you all at One Music Fest, God willing, and we'll be hearing from you guys in October.